What is going on, New York Giants fans? D. Illa here. In this video, we are going to talk about the bridge quarterback and the options that will be presented to this football team in the 2025 offseason. If you follow my channel, you know how I feel about bridge quarterbacks. I feel like they're a complete waste of time. The most they're going to give to your football team is they're going to add some veteran leadership. At the end of the day, nothing more, nothing less. A lot of people last year were screaming for Russell Wilson to be on this football team and to lead this football team, and I said no. I said let him go be somebody else's problem. And I said at the very best, what is Russell Wilson going to take you to? A wild card berth or a divisional playoff game? And what happened this past weekend? Russell Wilson got his ass handed to him by the Baltimore Ravens. Now, maybe things in the NFC would be a little bit different, considering the NFC is not nearly as competitive as the AFC. But in the end, man, Russell is not that type of quarterback anymore. He's not the same quarterback that played in Seattle. He does not have that kind of ability anymore to lead a football team to a Super Bowl title. And I would think for all New York Giants fans, that's the main goal, to win a Super Bowl championship. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there that just want to be competitive. Sure, I'd like to be competitive myself. But in the end, man, I want this team to build something that is going to be consistent and a team that is going to be a true threat to win a Super Bowl year in and year out. So bridge quarterbacks, especially the ones at our disposal this offseason, are never going to do that for us. They never will. Your Russell Wilsons, your Aaron Rodgers, if he's released by the Jets, your Joe Flacco's, your Marcus Mariota's, your Justin Fields, your Derek Carrs, Drew Locks, so on and so on. I'm not that stressed about who they choose to bring onto this football team, because at the end of the day, they're all going to produce the same results. I hear a lot of people out there vouching for Justin Fields and how this team has to go after Justin Fields in the offseason. And to me, personally, Justin Fields is a more athletic version of Drew Lock. That's all he is. He's a faster version of Drew Lock. Justin Fields is going to throw the ball in every place except for where the ball actually needs to go, much like Drew Lock. Now, every once in a while, Justin Fields will wow you. He'll have that big game like Drew Lock had against the Colts. But more times than not, Justin Fields is going to leave you with a sour taste in your mouth. So Justin Fields was really the guy I wanted to address in this video, because I've seen people put together some content and really clamor to bring this guy onto this football team. And really, when you break it down, given all the quarterbacks that I had mentioned. So if you check out Sport Track, they are basing Justin Fields' annual salary to be around like $9 million in 2025 for a season. So based on what I said, like, you're going to get the same results out of these guys, basically the same kind of production. Might get a little bit more rushing stats out of Justin Fields. In terms of throwing the football, he's not going to be much better than anybody else. He might be worse. If he's going to get like $9 million, but you could bring on a guy like Marcus Mariota for 6 or 7, you go with Marcus Mariota, because every dollar that we have at our disposal is vital. Now, I know you may be sitting there, well, this is the guy that was saying the Giants needed to continue to play Daniel Jones regardless of the injury clause that he had in his contract. Yeah, I was that guy. But you know what? That situation's over and done with now. The process played itself out. We're third in the draft. Nothing will change about that now. We don't know how the season would have played out if Daniel Jones would have remained the quarterback. But we definitely have to manage our money that we have available as well as we can at this point going forward. So again, if you can get the same production out of a guy like Mariota for 6, why would you spend the additional 3 to go get Justin Fields? And I get Justin Fields. He's a younger quarterback. Maybe he's still got some things that you can get out of him as far as his development goes. But that's a long shot at this point. It's just being smart with the money, man, and that's what we have to do. We don't need to go out there and spend big money on T. Higgins. I don't think T. Higgins is coming here anyways. I think T. Higgins is going to end up in New England, because they desperately need a wide receiver there to help out Drake May. And I think they're going to pony up some big-time dollars to bring him in. But when it comes to us spending big-time money on him, I don't know if that's necessarily a good move. Because if you know T. Higgins' injury history, man, this is a guy that is dealing with some kind of soft tissue injury basically every single year. And that's the last thing this football team needs to do, is go out there and spend big money on T. Higgins and have him miss half the season because he's got a pulled hamstring, pulled groin, whatever. And that's been the MO for him over the past 3 years. And let me address another topic that a lot of people have been talking about. I mean, this is just what I've seen from other content creators out there. A lot of people out there are big on Robert Saleh, former defensive coordinator of the San Francisco 49ers. I believe he was there for, 3 or 4 seasons. Then he was the head coach for the Jets for the past, 2 or maybe 3 years. I don't know it exactly off the top of my head. You know, everybody says he's had a great defense over the past 2 years, and that's not necessarily true because everybody this past year was able to run all over the Jets at will. Again, if you play fantasy football, you know these things. And this is why I always say fantasy football can be extremely useful, especially when it comes to talking about the NFL. Because every running back option that you had on your football team, every time one of those guys went up against the Jets or they were lucky enough to go up against the Jets, you were licking your chops, man. Remember, Jordan Mason, week 1 against the Jets, ran for 147 yards. Week, 4 or 5, something like that. Ray Davis, rookie running back when James Cook was out, he almost had 100 yards before the half against the Jets. And then after that Bills game, that's when they kicked Robert Saleh to the curb. And he was gone. But even in the 2003 season, man, Robert Saleh, as the head coach for the Jets, in that team's last 8 games, that defense gave up 28 points or more in its last 5 out of 8 games. One of those games was against Deshaun Watson. He put up 37, giving him some kind of hope that he could still play this game, which we all know isn't true. The guy's washed. He's done. So, Robert Saleh is not a very good option to me, man. Unless he's bringing all that talent that he once had with the San Francisco 49ers, and he's bringing John Lynch and Adam Peters along with him. But we all know that's not going to happen. But man, that's it for the video. I just wanted to come out here and address a few topics that are kind of floating around out there. I appreciate y'all's time as always. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, like and subscribe. All right, bye.